Okay, so what I want to do with you guys is just go through your notes really quick on this assignment on the roles of the governor. Earlier this year we talked about the roles of the president, and the roles of the governor are going to be very similar. There won't be as many, but the ones that there are will be very similar to the roles we talked about of the president. So the governor is the executive leader of Virginia, and he is the one who is responsible for making sure that laws are being followed. So what you're going to do while you watch this video is you're going to create a bubble map on the back of this assignment that you just completed. So what you'll need to do in the middle is just draw a circle and write roles of the governor in the middle of it. There are going to be 5 different roles that you're going to write down, and for each one you'll just need to draw a circle around this middle circle. You'll need to name the role, so tell me what the role's name is, and also explain it, and that will be provided for you. So write down the name of the role and also explain or describe what that role means, and I'm going to go through with you guys and explain that to you now. So here we have it. Okay, so roles of the governor. So these are the different jobs that the governor has as far as his role of making sure laws are being followed in Virginia. The first role is going to be commander-in-chief. So you can go ahead and write that down. And remember, at any time through this video, if you need to pause it to catch up with writing, please do that. I want you to get everything written down for full credit. So if I move on too quickly, then pause the video, or you can always rewind or go back to catch something that you may have missed. So the first role is commander-in-chief. Here's an image of our governor displaying that role, talking with a member of the U.S. military. Now, the part of the military that the governor is in control of is the part that's called the National Guard. I don't know if you currently know somebody who's part of the National Guard, but this is the part of the military that the governor kind of has control over. And it would just be Virginia's National Guard. So every state has their own National Guard. And whenever something happens in the state and we need someone to show up to help put order back to things that have gotten out of order, or to help clean up if there's been a natural disaster, then the governor will call the National Guard in to do that. Or say if there's a natural disaster in another state, maybe a hurricane or a tornado or a flood, our governor of Virginia may call up the Virginia National Guard to go help out in another state if they need it. So that's the governor's role as commander-in-chief. Moving on, the next role is chief legislator. So if you'll remember, that word legislator just means to create laws. So the governor has a role to play in the creation of laws. In this picture, it shows Governor Terry McAuliffe. He is making a speech to the members of the General Assembly. This is called the State of the Commonwealth speech. It's kind of like the President's State of the Union speech, except for the President is talking to Congress about laws that he would like to see Congress make, whereas the governor is talking to the General Assembly and sharing his ideas with new laws with the General Assembly for the state of Virginia. So this is one way that the governor fulfills this role, is by making the speech. But as chief legislator, the president can come up with ideas for bills and sign or veto bills. So some other things the president does as chief legislator is to sign bills that are sent to him by the General Assembly, or also he can veto bills that are sent to him from the General Assembly. The next role the president fulfills is chief of party. So here in this image you have Governor McAuliffe running for governor as a member of the Democratic Party. So he is running for that position. Some other things that the governor might do in order to fulfill this job of chief of party is to fundraise for other candidates. So if there are other people who want to be senators or representatives or delegates or even president, our governor might go make speeches for them or hold fundraisers for them to help them raise money so they can run for office. So as chief of party, the president is the leader of the political party that controls the executive branch. And currently, that political party is the Democratic Party that controls the executive branch. So Governor McAuliffe is going to help other Democrats win elections across Virginia and the country. The next role is Chief Administrator. This is very similar to the role that the President has as Chief Executive. But for Governor, we call it Chief Administrator. So when the Governor is meeting with his cabinet, then the Governor is serving as Chief Administrator. Or if the Governor is appointing someone to office, like his cabinet secretaries are all appointed by the Governor, then he's serving as Chief Administrator. So this is the Governor serving as the leader of the state executive branch. The next role is Chief of State. This is very similar to the President's role as Chief of State in that as Chief of State, the Governor has the responsibility of awarding deserving individuals across the state for their accomplishments and also making speeches. This does not include campaign speeches or the State of the Commonwealth Address because those show the Governor fulfilling other roles, but any other speech that the President makes pretty much besides those two kinds of speeches would fall into this Chief of State category. So here you have a picture of the Governor giving this dude an award. I don't know what it is. I can't read it, but that's what's going on here. Okay, so those are your 5 roles of the Governor. What you're going to do next is at the bottom of this paper you have a blank space. You need to number from 1 to 5. For each image given, you will need to write down the role the Governor is fulfilling and an explanation for why you chose that role. And here's an example. So here's a picture of the Governor with 2 guys holding an award. So your example for this one is going to be Chief of State, the President serving as Chief of State. And the reason why you chose that role or should have chosen that role is because the Governor is giving someone an award. So that's going to be your answer for this example. The rest of them you need to find on your own using your notes, but I'm going to talk through them with you. So here's number 1. This one should be pretty simple. So you're writing down the role the Governor is fulfilling and why you chose that role beside number 1. And remember to pause this whenever you need to so that you can write things down before I move on. Number 2, this is a picture of the President meeting with his cabinet. Number 3, President giving someone an award. Number 4, here is the President with Hillary Clinton. This picture was taken last year, and he was helping her campaign for office. She's running for president. And then back here behind Terry McAuliffe is Mark Warner. He's a former Democratic president, and he's actually a senator now for the state of Virginia in the United States Senate. Oh, yeah, Governor McAuliffe had a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. And then number 5, this is the President signing a bill into law. So remember, for each of those, you need to have the role the President is fulfilling and how the President is fulfilling that role, an explanation for why you chose that role. And when you're done, you need to go turn this paper in. Thank you.